I was growing more and more afraid, because no matter which station I went to, I always saw the same old woman. Even when the train sped forward at full speed, she would still appear outside the window. It felt like she was warning me about something, but I couldn't see clearly. I tried to get closer, but she would always step back, keeping the same distance from me, so I could neither hear her nor see her clearly. Frustrated, I shouted at her, but she kept toying with me. Angrily, I turned and walked away, but when I looked back moments later, she was following me. No matter how fast I ran, she could catch up instantly. I panicked completely, not knowing what to do. Just then, a woman out hiking passed by. I clung to her like a lifeline, begging her to ask the old woman if she needed help. After all, in this desolate mountain wilderness, it was too dangerous for an elderly person to be alone. The woman was kind and agreed without hesitation. But the moment she exchanged a few words with the old woman, she glanced at me in terror, then screamed and bolted away like a mad woman. I was horrified, fleeing as fast as I could. I reached a nearby town, thinking I was finally safe. But when I looked back, the old woman was still following me. In a panic, I dashed into a crowded inn, the press of people giving me a shred of safety. I quickly told everyone that a strange old woman was stalking me and asked if anyone knew her. The innkeeper shook his head, saying she was a stranger, maybe just an old lady, probably harmless. He even comforted me warmly. But when he stepped outside and spoke a few words to her, he reacted just like the others, first staring at me in terror, then running away in a frenzy, never to return. I was too scared to leave, so I booked a 7-day stay at the inn, hoping she would eventually give up. But on the 5th day, the hostess forced me out. Because of me, the old woman stood outside every day, driving away their business. I had no choice but to take a ride back home. When I told my mother what had happened, she became deeply worried. Suddenly, she thought of an idea. As long as we stayed on the phone, she could approach the old woman, while I relayed everything the old woman said. That way, the old woman couldn't bewitch her. But as my mother got closer, my phone signal grew weaker and weaker. I couldn't hear what the old woman was saying. I shouted desperately, but it was already too late. My mother looked at me in horror, her eyes filled with disgust. Then she turned and ran. I chased after her for a long time, until I finally saw her get into a taxi, but she still glared at me with hatred as she left town, and disappeared completely. From that day on, I never saw my mother again. Only then did I realize that the old woman possessed some terrifying supernatural power, so I went to the Bureau of Paranormal Affairs for help.